Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another exciting partner webinar. And thank you for your patience. I'm sorry about the delay of getting this started. We had a couple of minor technical difficulties. So I have Jacob on the phone and Mario on the phone with me today. I'm going to give them a minute to introduce themselves and kick it off to them in just a moment here. I just wanted to, first of all, again, thank you everyone for joining and let you guys know I have muted everybody on the call. So if throughout today's presentation, if you have any questions, please drop those in the chat or under the questions. And at the end of today's presentation, I will leave 5 minutes to respond to your questions that you have put in the chat box. All right, Jacob and Mario, I'm going to pass it over to you. And thank you again for both of you doing this today with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Helena. As you can see, our names are also Helena on the webinar, but my name is actually Jacob Bouer. I'm the head of strategic partnerships at Array. Nice to meet you all. And then I have Mario here with me. Mario, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Mario Delecci and I head up the financial institutions group for us. So I'll kick us off, or Jacob, you want to give them a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so I just wanted to start off by talking a little bit about how I ended up at Array, because I've been in the fintech and banking innovation space for a while, and when I came across Array, it was the perfect combination between financial wellness and really helping members better understand their financial lives, but also growth for the institutions that we're partnering with. And I think that context really sets the tone for what we want to talk about here today. So really great to meet you all. Really happy to show you what we're doing here at Array. We're also very thankful for Typhone, and we're excited about the potential partnership with them. And so Mario, why don't we kick it off there?
Yeah, thanks, Jacob, and I echo that. Really excited to be here with everyone. My background is I've been a corporate and investment banker with technology companies for the last 17 years, so mainly with the large financial institutions. And I really got excited to join Array because I think this is ripe for the market right now. This is no longer, the technology that we have is no longer really a nice to have, it's a need to have, it's table stakes. And this isn't a very complicated technology to understand, so the adoption is very, very easy. And then the integration piece also for financial institutions relative to a lot of technologies out there is fairly easy. So let's just get right into it. What is Array? So first and foremost, we position ourselves as a B2B2C health and wellness platform, like Jacob mentioned. And so we provide credit monitoring and identity theft protection tools in a suite of library modules that you'll see a little bit later, and then an offers engine that sits over the top of those tools, so that as your members engage with the tools, we can see behavioral, intent data, and even credit attributes to help you as an institution provide very focused offerings for your suite of financial products. So the best way to think about us is essentially we're kind of like a decoupled Credit Karma and a LifeLock combined as a service. And we're fully white label and completely customizable. And we live either in the online and mobile banking experience, and or what we're finding a lot of times happening is with our customers is that they're also putting us as a link on their homepage next to their login to actually drive customer acquisition. So just a little bit of background on the company. We're about almost a 2-year-old company now. Our founder and CEO, his name is Martin Toha. He's a serial entrepreneur. This is his 4th company, actually, but his first venture-backed company. The previous companies he bootstrapped into being very successful businesses. And his previous company that he owned and operated for the last 11 years, still owns 100% of it, but actually no longer runs it on a day-to-day basis, is kind of like a direct-to-consumer version of Array. And they have about 550,000 monthly active paying customers. So it's a good sized business, but the reason we really bring that up is it's the technology that Martin built there and the integrations with the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion that he built there that allow him to pull those things into Array to kind of really help develop our product and our go-to-market strategy. So right now we have over 120 clients. Now those are mainly the digital first fintechs, because that's the genesis of the business. Our group that Jacob and I are helping build right now has only been around for about 4 months, and we're actually boarding our first credit unions and community banks right now. So you can see some of the names down there that we have. We just raised our Series A. We raised $50 million at a very healthy valuation from some excellent tier 1 investors. We have about 120 actually employees right now, half of which are stacked against engineering. And because Martin's always kind of owned and operated businesses on his own coattails were actually a profitable enterprise and growing very rapidly from like a both top and bottom line perspective. So with that background, I'm going to turn it over to Jacob. He's kind of going to run through some more of the value prop and the product itself before we jump right into a demo, and then we'll help answer, happy to answer any questions thereafter.
Thanks, Mario. So we want to talk about the sort of landscape in this credit and identity space before we get into our product, not to compare the credit unions and community banks that Typhon is working with to the Capital Ones and Chases of the world, but to talk about what consumers expect when it comes to credit insights. And so Capital One and Chase have gone out and built these Credit Karma-like products in-house, and it's taken them teams of over 50 people. It took them years to actually go to market with these projects, and that really speaks to what it takes to actually go out and do this on your own and the costs associated with that. And so in comes Array, really focused on smaller institutions and helping them level up and providing their customers and members with similar and or better and more customizable experiences when it comes to credit and identity. And so then you have the Credit Karmas and the Credit Sesames of the world who have literally created a business off of providing credit information to your customers and then selling them competitive products to your institution. And so again, in comes Array, allowing these institutions to leverage this technology to cut out the Credit Karmas, keep your members inside of your digital instance and sell them your products. And so the value prop is very simple. With Array's credit and identity protection tools, we want to help you support the financial wellness of your members when it comes to credit and identity. With that, and in embedding this inside of your digital instances, we want to help you increase customer engagement. And with that customer engagement, unlocks data on these members that really allows you to better understand their credit profiles as well as their intent when it comes to products of your institution. And our offers engine, which we'll get to in a moment, will help you drive revenue through that better understanding of data. And so there's 3 buckets of our solution: credit, identity, and offers engine. When it comes to credit, there's over 20 embeddable modules that are really revolved around helping your customers better understand things like, what is my credit score? How can I improve that credit score? What are the factors that make up that credit score? And how can I actually leverage this score when it comes to products in my institution? The second piece is the identity piece, which goes hand in hand with credit to us. If somebody was to steal your identity and open up a payday loan, that's obviously going to affect your credit. And so we want to provide both sides of the spectrum. The identity piece is revolved around identity monitoring tools, identity restoration services, even an identity insurance product that we can really use to bundle into some of the more premium memberships that you're currently selling today. And so between credit and identity, this is fully a la carte, fully customizable. We really look to better understand the institutions that we're talking to, their products, the demographics that they serve, and then go to market with a fully customizable product between these 2 buckets. Now, the offers engine sits on top of the credit and identity platform, really leveraging the data that we're unlocking as customers opt into our solution to better understand their credit profiles proactively, which can of course tell a story of the member and what products they might be interested in, but also to present products in real time to those customers and members inside of Array, and also leveraging this data to be used in an omni-channel marketing funnel, whether that's email, mailers, however it is that you're communicating with your members. And so, just to kind of sum up some of the things that differentiated us in the market, we're fully embedded and labeled, so your customers are really getting this experience directly from you. Totally customizable, not just in terms of the modules that you're selecting, but also when it comes to the look and feel. So in the case of embedding this inside of a Typhon instance, your customers will never know the difference. And then in terms of compliance, this is really important to us. We've been PCI compliant for the last 10 years. We're actually well on our way to being SOC 2 Type 2 certified. And the final piece, which is really important, is that we actually have a tokenization method that allows us to tokenize the data so that it passes directly through Array and the institution without keeping you in compliance scope, passing it directly to the end consumer. And so that's really important in terms of going to market really quickly, not having to worry about PII. And so, this is the end of our deck. I just want to say thanks really quickly before we move to a demonstration. And and then we will have some time for questions.
So while Jacob's pulling up the demo piece, I'm just going to give a quick overview of the technology. It's really just two components to the technology. The first component to the technology is basically what we do is we sit above all three bureaus, kind of like a kayak would, and we're aggregating and standardizing all of the credit data into an open API that sits on our website. And that's raw data that you can see at any time and access it. And if your institution is sophisticated enough and wants to, it can actually take that data directly and stand up the information in whatever shape, way, or form that you want. But not all institutions are able to deal with that. So what we did is the second component of it is we built this CMS, this content management system, or what you're looking at is kind of like a Wix website editor, where we built this library of modules, customizable modules, where we can work with you to pick and choose which modules you want, where you want them placed in whatever, again, way, shape, or form, and then deploy them within your online and mobile banking instance. And the first part of this, of the technology, this is really where the meat of the technology is. This is the hard thing to really get done. This is what, there's only two financial institutions, the ones that Jacob mentioned, which are Chase and Capital One credit-wise, that have teams of 50 people that actually built out to be able to aggregate and standardize this credit data. This is the hard part that we've spent so many years in Martin's former business, our CEO and founder, actually getting done. And then the second part is, is to make it more of a plug and play type of experience.
Thanks, Mario. So what you can see here is actually the templates of our modules living on the left-hand side, a list of all of our modules here. And here's an example of a one bureau credit report. As you can see, I can actually toggle between bureau just to show that, what we can do in real time in terms of providing data from any of the credit bureaus. I also want to show you that this is tablet friendly, mobile friendly, or even can be positioned on a widget. And that real estate where this is shown in a widget is really important in getting that user engagement up, getting your customers not only opting in the first place, but coming back to the tool on a regular basis, because the more times that your members are engaging with our solution, the more data that you're unlocking in terms of better understanding those members and the products that are relevant for them. So say I'm a customer of Typhone, I want to look at my account, I see, oh, here's the widget around my credit. I click into this and it's going to pull up in desktop form. I can then see inside my credit report all my personal information, account summaries, even payment histories, as well as hard inquiries. That will give you a little bit of an idea of the type of information that you as the institution actually get to see around your customers. We will get to that later in the demonstration. And then moving on to some of the more innovative tools. So debt to income calculators that can calculate debt analysis in real time, as well as passing that information back to the institution in real time. Credit score factors, so really financial wellness focused. So these are the 6 main factors that the bureaus are looking at when they're creating a score. And as a user, I can actually look into this and say, okay, well, let's check out my credit card usage. And it's going to say, okay, well, I'm only utilizing 11%. Great job. You aren't using too much of your limits. And what does this mean? And how do we get this percentage? As well as pro tips, all specific to the user to help them raise that score or keep that score high. One of the more marketing focused modules is our simulator that allows me to simulate different situations, but also giving the institution valuable data around the intent of that user. And so if I say I want to open a new credit card for, let's say, $10,000 limit, it's going to simulate that score for me, tell me what it's going to do to my score. Also, obviously explaining how the simulator works, but this information is going to let the institution know, hey, Jacob's interested in a credit card. So I do want to jump ahead really quickly and actually show you one of our customer instances where now inside of Array, there's that featured card living inside of it, utilizing data based on my credit profile and how I interact with the simulator, letting me know, hey, this product is right for you. And if I click there, it would bring me directly into an application, thus helping the institution sell more products. So I want to go back to the webinar and just show some more tools before we show some more of our customer instances. And so, of course, we can include alerts meant to, of course, give the customer a real-time update on their score and the factors affecting their score, but also to bring people back into the instance. And also our identity protection solution. This is going to be monitoring this information as well as on the dark web. And then we can also layer in those ID protection services, so identity restoration services, and up to 1 million in identity theft insurance. These are really important products for your premium membership. So some of the use cases that we've worked with credit unions on is actually to provide a one bureau score with the standard array offering to all my members for free. But utilizing some of the identity solutions and maybe a 3-score solution for a more premium membership, because that's actually a paid offering, helping our institutions create that non-interest income. So just want to talk about some of the ways our institutions are thinking about this. So here's a customer example of Mountain America Credit Union. They actually use the Alchemy digital banking platform. In this case, they chose to use data from Experian. And then these are the modules that they've selected. What you saw on the left-hand side, these are the ones that they chose to go to market with. And so you can see factors, reports, alerts, debt analysis, credit lock, and a score simulator. And there's that featured card. Please note that this can be any product of the institution, even deposit products. So we can really utilize data to understand what is the best product to offer to that member. And then they also went with an identity protection solution. And then here's what that looks like. And so keep in mind, this looks entirely different from what you saw in the demonstration. And that's that Wix website editor, that system that allows us to create these prototypes and ultimately designs that get to market really quickly for our customers, that are completely embedded and look like they're created by natively by the institution. I want to show this use case because Credit One Bank is working with us to actually stand up a white label website. So this was not integrated with the digital banking platform, but they're utilizing this to get non-customers on the tool, but to better understand those customers so they could sell them, whether it's deposit products or credit cards, utilizing the data that is accessed from Array within the credit attributes. And so this is actually on our website, and I'm happy to share this information with anyone after the webinar, but this is the type of information that your institution is exposed to really understand those customers and understand what products you should be putting in front of them. So that is the end of our presentation. If there's any questions here, I'm happy to answer them. We can utilize the chat on the right-hand side if anyone wants to throw any questions to us.
Great. Thank you again, Jacob and Mario. That was great and exciting. We're going to give everybody here just a couple of minutes to go ahead and type in their questions. And just a reminder, you guys are all on mute. So please feel free to type those in the chat window and we will get to your questions. And one of the things I want to mention is if you have any questions that you want to speak to anybody, if you're a customer of Array, I recommend you reach out to your account manager there and they can answer any questions. If you're working with Typhone as a Typhone customer, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll get you in contact or get you the answers to the questions from the presentation you have today. We do have one question here for you guys. How can this be used as a member accusation tool? Look.
So, Mario, you want me to answer that one?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Got it. So, member acquisition is really important. It's not just about having this sort of shotgun marketing approach, and it's also about providing the tools that customers want. And so, Array has a solution that the proof is in the pudding when it comes to, looking at Credit Karma's business model. Consumers want their credit information and they want to better manage that. And so by offering Array, which is a tool that's really easy to onboard and access and can be offered for free, could be that lead behind, or it could be that ask or that call to action. And then with that comes information to the institution that helps them better understand that customer or that member. And that this is being used in a lot of different ways. So one of the use cases is indirect auto. Many credit unions have massive indirect auto businesses, and one of the things they're trying to get to the bottom of is how do we cross-sell those members and how do we get them to bring their deposits over or do a mortgage with my credit union. And so if you're going to approach those customers by trying to sell them a product without really understanding them, chances are they may not go for it. But if you're offering a free credit and identity tool and then understanding that credit profile in real time when they're doing a hard inquiry for a mortgage, or you're seeing that score go up, or they don't have the credit cards that they may need, Now you're better understanding that member, and now you're able to put the right products in front of them. So that's a great question.
Great. Thank you, Jacob, for answering that. And it looks like we have time for one more question, and I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. It is, what's the difference between working with you and going directly to the bureau?
Mario, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah. So listen, I think when you go directly to the bureau, really what you're going to be getting is kind of a very static offering. Okay. And so you'll often see it. Maybe you're actually doing it yourself right now, where you can go to the bureau and you get this very static FICO score with the dial, and that's it. It's very plain vanilla. And what we're actually finding is that is actually more detrimental than beneficial to the actual member retention, because what's happening is it's enticing the customer, the member, to say, hey, listen, I see my score, but I don't really have any information. So now let me move outside of the banking experience and go over to Credit Karma and eventually get cross-sold a different financial institution's product, right? And so what we're really providing is a full suite of services to kind of displace that exact customer path, member path acquisition outside of the financial institution. And then beyond that, from a pricing perspective, so one thing we didn't cover is that the way we price everything is based off of a per member per month model. And so as your members engage with the tool, that's when we start to actually charge the institution. And it basically starts as low as 70, 75 cents per member per month, depending on the modules that Jacob went through that are chosen, all the way on up to kind of $4 to $4 if you go for like a triple bureau credit report with all the bells and whistles of identity theft protection, etc. And so really what we can do is, by aggregating and standardizing all of the bureau data, we're getting the benefits of economies of scale across pricing, and we're passing that directly on to the institution, so that what you individually could actually get from a pricing standpoint going direct to the bureau, we can probably and most likely always be able to provide a better offer through the Array platform. Excellent question. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mario. And thanks for answering that. I want to again thank everyone for joining us today and for our presentation with Array. And I want to say thank you again to Mario and Jacob for doing this. This was a great experience. I learned a lot through today's presentation, and we couldn't do it without partners like you.
Thanks so much. We've got our emails in the bottom left corner. Any Typhone customer that's looking to work with us, we actually want to have a free trial period of Array. We really think that once you start giving this to your customers and members, you'll see that it really takes off. The data that you get to access opens up, and we're going to help you sell more products. And so we'd love to partner with you. Any Typhone customer, please reach out to us with the emails in the bottom.
Great. Yeah, thank you, and thanks everyone for giving us 30 minutes of your time today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next Partner Spotlight webinar.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Lena.
Bye.
Okay, cheers.